Hi, this is Mr. E here, and I'm going to talk about a book I recently read by Gholdy Muhammad. It's called Cultivating Genius. I would strongly recommend this to any pre-service teacher, as well as any teacher that is already in the field. I feel like there's a lot of information shared here that people that look like me and have my gender don't think about all the time, and really gets you deeper into where we are as a society and things that we can do better as a whole. The book is available everywhere, but here's Scholastic has it. Cultivating Genius and Equity Framework, $26.99. And again, it's a pretty quick read. The author, Gholdy Muhammad. Just want to share this. There she is. Dr. Muhammad is currently Associate Professor of Language and Literacy at Georgia State University. She serves as the Director of Urban Literacy Collective and Clinic. Her career includes having served in a school district curriculum director responsible for K through 12 literacy instruction assessment and professional development as a reading, language arts, and social studies middle school teacher. She has a PhD in literacy, language, and culture at the University of Illinois in Chicago, and her research interests are situated in historical foundations of literacy and development in the writing practices among the Black community. And that's kind of how she starts the book. She starts out with a chapter about early Black literacy societies and literacy journals. Talks about how we have this movement to become literate after the end of the Civil War and after the end of the enslavement of African Americans. And we see this want to educate. We see this, and she kind of walks us through this whole process all the way through Brown versus the Board of Education, and kind of describes, she does a really good job of describing the detriment that had to many students of color. Effectively, yes, we did integrate the schools, which was good. However, it also gave schools a pass to fire teachers of color, which removed mirrors and windows in the classroom. And so students weren't able to see someone that looked like them teaching. Students that were not of color, so white like myself, weren't able to see models of teachers of color as well too. And this is something as a society we're still dealing with today. Just recently heard on a news article from NPR that 95% of teachers in Minnesota are white. However, about 40% of the students are students of color. And so we may think that the Civil War happened a long time ago, Brown versus the Board of Education happened a long time ago, Civil Rights Movement happened a long time ago, but we see these communities still struggling to be able to attain equity in the school districts. What she does during the book is she lays out this framework. She does 4, and actually in her next book, she actually adds a 5th, but we're just going to talk about the 4 in here. We have identity, skills, intellect, and criticality. Identity is something that is a must. I can tell you in the classroom, students need to see themselves in the curriculum. They need to be able to learn about people that look like them, pray like them, that identify with their same genders, and to be able to latch on to see themselves. Often, I'm a 9th grade teacher, and I have a little bit of a history of Hmong history, and I get a comment every year from Hmong students saying, this is the first time I've learned about my people in school, and that's just not okay. So if we want students to engage in the curriculum, feel safe emotionally, physically, and mentally, we need to be able to show their identity in the classroom. The next one is skills. And lots of times we think of skills as those standardized tests, but skills are more than standardized tests. The standardized tests can help us measure, but not everything that should be measured is measured, and not everything that counts is counted, not everything that is counted counts. And this is what she writes here in her chapter 4 on skills. Members of literacy societies cultivated skills and wrote across a variety of genres, including speeches, essays, personal narratives, letters, news, journal articles, announcements of marriages and deaths, and minutes from society and their organizations. Their literacy writings included poetry, short stories, and lengthier works. And I feel like this is a good guide for us in the classroom, that we don't just need to have multiple choice tests we can have students show us their knowledge through things like speeches, personal narratives, letters, even artwork is another great one. Poetry I found is great. Even students that think poetry is not cool engage in the assignment and they figure out, yes, I can create my own poetry in my own way. There's not this strict, rigorous way that it needs to be done. So that's her second one. Her third one is intellect. I just want to read a brief blurb out of her next chapter on intellect. Because I think it's really important here. She says, cultivating students' intellectual means developing their mental culture, helping them plan their central aims for quality of life, and showing them how to navigate society after high school. Therefore, intelligence just isn't about academic, but it's also emotional intelligence and self-social awareness. And I think our society could use a lot more emotional intelligence and self-social awareness, and it would be perfect if we could promote those within our schools. Finally, criticality, and I'll read one more from her chapter on criticality here. She writes, criticality is a capability to read, write, and think in a way understanding of power, privilege, social justice, oppression, particularly for populations who have been historically marginalized in the world. And she's quoting herself from 2018. And so we need to be able to go into our classroom and give students the freedom to make those choices, take back some power, be able to guide their own learning, and learn from each other rather than just learning from us. All in all, I would say this book, again, I recommend any teacher to read. Is Gholdy Muhammad, Cultivating Genius. Thank you very much. Have a great day.